The first time ever Joe Biden ran for president was in 1988. The same year, the Republican senator from Kansas, Bob Dole, also ran for president. Of course, he lost the nomination to the incumbent vice president George Bush, while Biden had to drop out due to allegations of plagiarism. That nomination eventually went to Michael Dukakis, who lost the general to Bush. But what would happen if Bob Dole and Joe Biden faced up in the 1988 presidential election? Let's find out. Good morning, Vietnam, and welcome back to another alternate history election prediction. Now this one I am going to make a bit less fancy and a bit more straightforward. Joe Biden versus Bob Dole, 1988. Let's get to it by starting to fill in the safe states for Bob Dole. Now, in 1988, the Democrats were not really in very good shape, and not that many states are going to be safe for Biden. We know that Bush did quite well, and therefore we have left some states like Texas and Colorado still as toss-up or undecided. But I do believe that some of these states are including maybe even Delaware. Okay, not Delaware. But I do believe that these states would actually be solid for the Democrats, as Bob Dole, being from Kansas, would not have anywhere near the same appeal in Maryland as Bush did, and therefore he would not win that state. Okay, then let's now go on to the more detailed parts of it. I believe Bob Dole would still win Texas. I believe it is a quite conservative state that would not do well if Joe Biden ran, even if he picked Lloyd Bentsen as his running mate. And Bob Dole will also win the state of Colorado and Montana. Now, Joe Biden's strength is mostly on the East Coast, but I do believe he would win the state of Pennsylvania. He has some advantages there. He will also win the West Coast states of Washington and Oregon that were not very Republican trending in '88 and really did not like the Iran-Contra affair. Now, Dole would win the deep southern states of Louisiana and Arkansas, as well as the border state of Kentucky. I also believe that he would win the traditional New England states of Maine and Vermont. And now the remaining states are all the states that actually went to Bush in '88, but I do believe that Joe Biden would win his home state of Delaware, while Bob Dole, I think, would still win Connecticut and New Jersey, even though they would probably be much more narrow with a Republican from the heartland representing the party. Now, it's still obviously a very big advantage to Dole. But let's go on. I think that Joe Biden would still be able to carry the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin going blue. And another state that I think that Joe Biden could actually flip is the state of Illinois. It will be narrow, as it was very narrow for Bush, but I think that he would be able to flip it. And Bob Dole will win the state of Ohio and therefore the presidency. He would also win the bellwether state of Michigan, and that would really seal him over. I did say Michigan, I meant Missouri, but now I also mean Michigan. Michigan would also go to Bob Dole, and the two remaining states are both out west. They are a bit difficult to predict, but I do believe that New Mexico would go to Dole. It was a quite Republican state with a bit more Democratic DNA because of the Hispanics and the Native Americans living there. And then in the end we come to the state of California. In 1988 the incumbent president was Ronald Reagan, and he would campaign for Dole in that state, as well as Pete Wilson seeking re-election for the Senate race, which he won by a very big margin. So California would go to Dole, probably by just a few points, but hey. So Bob Dole wins this election 364 to Joe Biden's 173. Now, I did feel that it was necessary for me to make an election prediction where I put Bob Dole above 270 and actually let him win something. I've usually just put him in my old history predictions to lose Republican primaries, or just be the sacrificial lamb in some presidential election in the 80s or 90s. But now he finally won something, so that's great. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.